For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. The world is astonished by the appearance of strange flying objects in space. In ancient Circassian chronicles, these strange flying bodies are called verbluds. It is written that the verblud lives everywhere in the sand, in the water. There are water verbluds in space. Anyone who can look directly into the sun will see a verblud in its eye. No one knows when or from where it will appear. Last week, a Circassian man went out to cut hay. Even while sharpening his scythe, he felt that something strange was about to happen. "I was sharpening my scythe," he recounted, "and I saw some birds flying in an unusual way. Their wings were tied in bows, and they were flapping only their tails. Nearby, there were haystacks, and as soon as these birds passed over them, one of the stacks lifted off the ground like a rocket and disappeared into space. That must have been a spacecraft from another world that landed during the night and took off again when the strange birds passed by." The man immediately abandoned his scythe and went to investigate, hoping to find traces left by the visitors. In the meadow, he discovered a peculiar reclining body. "Was it young?" we asked. "Yes, young," he said. "It was young and emitted radiation. He attempted to communicate with it and succeeded, but just then his wife appeared. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't convince her that the body in the meadow was one of those strange flying objects from space that the newspapers had been writing about. But women don't read newspapers, or even if they do, they act as if they never have. His wife was no exception, and for several days we witnessed his desperate attempts to persuade her, all in vain. Around the same time, another strange entity appeared in our village, one that was always running. It would wait for someone to appear in a hurry and immediately start running after them. The person would walk normally, unaware of it, but the entity would run diligently, kicking up smoke and sparks. Other times, it would wait somewhere for someone to show up, and as soon as they did, start running ahead of them. Even though no one noticed it, it acted as if they did, opening doors, holding coats and hats, pulling out chairs. Then it would go outside and wait for another passerby to follow. Once, we even saw it running around with a chamber pot. Even though the man ahead of it was walking with dignity and had no need for such a thing. Around the same time, some villagers came to me and asked, "Did you see them?" "See what?" "The automatic surveillance spies!" "Where are these spies? And who sent them?" "They are here among us. It seems they were sent from other worlds and planets to eavesdrop and observe us." We shook out our coats, and automatic spies spilled from them. They were as small as fleas, shaped like fleas, jumping and flying in all directions. The spies scattered outside, alone or in groups, beginning their surveillance. The people and livestock remained silent for a whole day, and in that day the spies could report nothing to those who had sent them. We immediately understood that we were under observation from other worlds. Why else would they send spies to watch us? We thought about it and decided that under no circumstances should we fall behind. We had to prove that we, too, could be incredible. Our motto became, "Be incredible." That same day, the men tightened their leather gaiters, rolled up their sleeves, and you could see their heads steaming from intense concentration. The atmosphere took on a strange hue and grew silent. That night, our people called me to the plateau. It was on this very plateau that the verbluds first appeared in ancient times, and their teeth marks could still be seen on the rocks. It was here that an Egyptian pharaoh once addressed the villagers before mounting a crocodile and flying over the settlement. Smoke from the chimneys got into his eyes, and he wept. It was here, during the time of the verblood, that our ancestors saw two Golgothas, two holy sepulchres, and Moses stepping on the sun's tail. Now, the villagers stood on the plateau, which was covered with strange flying bodies. They were chained up like dogs, growling menacingly. In shape, they resembled fleas, and just like fleas, they took off the moment their chains were released. The next day, we read in the newspapers that our strange flying objects had appeared over the oceans, above cities, over spaceports, and even over nude beaches. Airports launched fighter jets to chase them down, but the planes returned empty-handed. The villagers laughed heartily when they learned that aircraft had tried to catch them. Now our strange flying objects are already heading toward other worlds, just as the strange flying objects from other worlds are heading toward us.